No, I think it's going to be really tricky right here, and also probably in the back of all their minds is still the overall points of the race. I think for all of them, every point here is means a lot.
Yeah.
You know, obviously between Dongfeng and Abu Dhabi for the win, and Alvi Medica for a podium position. So yeah, you know, every point will count.
And for Motfre as well, they'll be happy with the second place. They're currently tied on the overall points with Alvi Medica, so putting, if it's just 1 point even, if Alvi Medica ends up taking this third, that's just 1 point, but it's 1 point that makes them not tied on the overall scores. So Motfre looking light, and 4 guys still on the bow there, maybe even 5 guys on the bow for them. But they've got a bit of a distance, a bit of a cushion between them and third place. 6 guys on the bow. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 guys up on the bow. That's incredible.
Yeah, in this light stuff, you just want to get as many people forward as possible and as low as possible.
Okay, it sounds like we actually have Bauer Becking on the phone with us. Congratulations, Bauer. Very well sailed leg. And it must be a huge relief to get across the line for you.
Yes, hello, it's Bauer, Team Brunell.
Hi, Bauer. Jenny Tulloch in Volvo Ocean Race. We were just saying huge congratulations to you on the leg 7 win. It was a great leg for you guys, and it must be a huge relief to finally have crossed the finish line after such an intense morning.
Yeah, it was, first of all, thank you very much for the congratulations. But we have been sailing a tremendous leg, and then just in the end, of course, when there is no wind, it's always getting a bit gnarly. But we pulled it off, so that's.
You pulled it off very well. A couple of things that we were speaking about this morning was how you actually had 4 under 30s on board for this leg. What do you think about that? Did you mean to bring 4 guys who were under 30 on board? Did it just happen? And how was that energy and young vibe for you this leg?
Well, we had an injury just before we started. Taking Portugal got injured on his arm, and so Adam Minopio came in first of all. And then we had Timo on the standby. So Timo was just the guy who we could get quickly. Had a visa for the States. He has been sailing with us the whole training period. So it was just good to have the young dogs on board. And Adam did a tremendous job. He didn't know anybody, and he fitted really well in. But so did Timo. So it has been good for the team to have some young kids there.
Let's go back to the Azores High. That was essentially the turning point of this leg. Did you think you were gambling there a little bit? I mean, we got a quote from KP, I think, that he said 2/3 it might not go our way and 1/3 it could go our way. But what were your thoughts on when you guys approached the high in that southerly position?
Well, it's always there's 2 philosophies. One says you boot into the high and you boot out of the high. So you sail fast into the high, and then you get the big wind shift, and then you sail fast on the other chart. And that's basically what we did. Or you take what the girls probably did. They took a big detour and basically sailed away longer way in more pressure. But I think, like all in all, if you see, I think the boats have stayed more or less in the same position before we entered actually the high. If you look at the real time when we started all sailing again, I think it was exactly the same before we entered. So, of course, it's always when you're on the inside lane, you're always a bit scared that it might go the wrong way. But I think KP downplayed it a little bit as well. He was pretty confident.
And then there was the drag race that you guys essentially showed real incredible speed, being able to pull out up to almost 12 miles overnight. Did you know that you guys had that in the bag? We were talking with Louis about the jib reaching versus fractional reaching, but did you know that strength would help you?
Well, I think it's shown in all previous legs where we actually made jumps on the guys. There's always an angle between 100 and 120, and that's luckily what we had. For some reason, somehow on forward tack, we go really well on that angle, and that's why we were going faster than the other guys. But I think one other thing is we had a bit more weight on the other boats on board. That probably made a little bit of a difference as well.
Okay, and I'll ask you this final question, then we'll let you go. That was essentially the last open ocean leg, and then you've got the sprint legs coming up. What are your thoughts about the sprint legs coming up, and which do you enjoy more?
I think everything is nice things, but of course, winning a transatlantic is always a real good thing. But we know as well, going up to Lorient gets really tricky. The Dongfeng probably have a little bit local advantage over there, sailing into France. But it is, it's everything is nice. Like next week, we're going to do the import race over here, which will be great as well.
Well, proper answer, like a true sailor who enjoys all of it. Thank you so much, Bauer. Huge congratulations to you and your team, and we'll hear from you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. I love it. I like all of it. I like the import racing, which I hadn't even thought about, the short course racing, as well as the short legs and the offshores. What do you enjoy the most?
Yeah, well, obviously my background is in, short course racing, but I also do really enjoy the offshore now, and sounds like a bit of a politician's answer, but it is hard. They're completely different sports almost. One's like being a 100-meter sprinter, and one's like being a marathon runner or even a kind of Everest climber. So it's quite, in some ways, it's very different when you're doing it, but both are great. Import is just, it's chaos on board. There's not really enough people. These boats weren't really designed to sail around short courses, but that's great fun. And, when it works and the maneuvers go well and the team works good, then it's such a good feeling. But then, when you're at sea for 25 days and it works, it's also a good feeling. So both have their merits.
We've got also Olympic sailors on board Motfre, Iker and Xavi. They're very familiar with short course import racing as well, and also offshore racing, having done multiple Volvo Ocean Races and other around the world races. Them getting a second place, what do you think that means for this team? I mean, they've had essentially a struggle of an early Volvo Ocean Race, and then have been performing quite well over the past couple.
Yeah, and I think this team, you've seen how much they've improved through the race, and they're going to be happy with this second place. As Francisco said, for overall points, ideally it wouldn't have been Brunell in first, but you've got to be happy with a second place. And I think more importantly, they've just shown again that their speed is good, and that's going to give them confidence going into these final two legs. And with Olympic sailors on board, good short course racers, Rob Greenhouse as well, also a very good inshore short course racer. I think they're going to have a lot of confidence now going to the final sprints.
They're very close to the finish line here. We actually just saw they're about to approach the point where Brunell had tacked originally onto starboard. And it looks like they've got solid breeze, although we can't quite see that yet. There we go, solid breeze the whole way across. Which might be interesting if it stays solid then for the fleet behind. Well, we'll have to see when we get back to them what it looks like there, because anything could happen back there, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, and only a few minutes ago, Mapfre were only in 2 knots, and they're probably breathing a big sigh of relief now, like Brunel, that they've got into this wind that just seems to be in the river here by the finish line. They were probably just praying for that moment and hoping that it came to them before Dongfeng and the others had a chance to catch up. But looks like a nice run into the finish for them here.
A nice run in, and now that the sun's properly up over the mountains as well, an easy run to be able to see at least between them and the finish line, the amount of wind. Spectator fleet just getting bigger, actually. It looks like more and more boats coming out from the marina.
Again, it's just amazing to see how close all the boats are here. I mean, you could expect these distances on a short 2-hour race, a short course race, and it's hard to remember that they've been at sea for 9 days, and yeah, they're all finishing like it's been a 2-hour race.
It's gonna be a 2-hour finish essentially. Probably only 10 minutes here between when Brunel finished and when Motfre is about to. And the 3 boats behind, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so close actually. Unbelievable. Great breeze though from Motfre here, it looks like. I guess great is relative, isn't it?
Right now, I'm sure it feels like a hurricane in comparison to the 2 knots they were drifting along on a minute ago. You can see that all the guys are back now, and they're sat further back in the boat and sat out on the rail, so feeling quite confident in the wind that they've got.
I think, do we still have Knut on the line? I think we just saw Knut's rib back with Motfre now, and it looks like the guys have actually moved back from the bow.
Knut, I'm in Motfre.
Good. They have a bit more breeze. We saw earlier they had 5 guys up on the bow, but now they're all back in the middle. Does it look like this holds all the way to the finish?
No, absolutely. The breeze is actually stronger now, and it's building. So Mapfre is going to have very good breeze all the way in, and all the way to the finish. And I would say that it's probably 2-3 knots more wind now than when Brunel was here. So looking very solid for Mapfre all the way in. But I'm just looking at the tracker on my phone there on the app, and wow, what's happening here in the back? Because Alvi Medica was almost ahead of Abu Dhabi there for a second.
What
No,
we saw.
no, even Dongfeng, I mean, almost ahead of Dongfeng.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that they've definitely overtaken Abu Dhabi. I'm not quite
Abu
sure
Dhabi.
yet about the cross with Dongfeng, and we've got race controls a little bit busy logging the time of Brunel's finish, but it looks like Alvi might cross Dongfeng race team. Dongfeng at least tacking underneath to the leeward position. So hugely tight race back there. Hugely tight race. That's amazing. Can you see them yet, Knut, or are they still around the peninsula from you?
No, I can see them. I can see the station. So absolutely. Beautiful. I'm just standing. I'm both things behind the stern of Mapfre here, and Iker Martinez is driving into the sunrise. Yeah, the sun is just coming up now above the beautiful bridge, the Lisbon bridge, and I think they're going to try. They probably have a better shot at making it in one tack because the bridge is more solid now and it's going all the way across to the other side. So this is going to be a solid finish from Mapfre.
Now we've got the tracker up. We're actually looking back. It looks like Alvi Medica has definitely passed Dongfeng race team. Dongfeng was on port, tacked underneath Alvi to leeward. And Dongfeng currently doing 6 knots, so maybe have a little bit more breeze further out in the channel. It's going to be a very, very tight battle between those two boats. Very tight.
Yeah, I mean, Dongfeng in the leeward position here, which could be good if they get any kind of heading wind, which we know that there is a bit coming into the finish. But on the other hand, Alvi Medica a little bit further inshore, and maybe we'll be able to get some more puffs off the shore there. So, yeah, it's going to be really tight between those two. And Abu Dhabi are not far behind. I'm sure Ian is praying that if he can't catch them up, that Alvi Medica does overtake Dongfeng, just to make sure that that points difference is not too big. But
stays in the overall.
Yeah, but a lot of race left for those guys, yeah.
Very tight racing, and it's good for Alvi Medica because they're currently tied with Mapfre, so everything they can do to stay close to Mapfre on the points board here. Well, obviously they want to just keep moving up through the fleet as well, but especially with Mapfre ahead of them.
Yeah, Alvi Medica will be very excited if they can get on the podium here. I mean, another team that's just improved so much through the race, and yeah, as you said, every point will count for them because there's going to be a big fight for the podium in the overall results as well.
Big fight, yeah. 2 legs left, 2 scoring legs left. Means there's not a lot of time to score points here. Although for Team Best to Swim, there's plenty of time. That's 2 legs that they get to do.
Mapfre is just tacking.
Ah, okay. Do you think that they are they tacking because they're laying here, Knut?
No, I don't think so. No, they're not
Really?
playing. So
Okay.
they have quite a bit longer to go. So no, they probably tacked here because they see it was getting lighter on the other side and they wanted to cross. So I think we'll see at least 2 more tacks on that spread to get to the finish line.
Gotcha. What do you think of that tack, Annie?
Yeah, no, it looks good. It actually gets sort of harder when you get too much wind on the masthead zero to tack because the furl becomes so much harder, but it looks like sort of maybe 6 knots there, so should be quite an easy tack. And they seem to have good speed out of that one, so looking comfortable already.
You can see Francisco there in the corner, who we were speaking with earlier, the onboard reporter, probably getting some amazing shots. That forward-looking shot you might have enjoyed as a trimmer. Quite a big stack on the front as well.
Yeah, I mean, their stack would have been, their sail stack would have been forward from the light winds they've just been in, and yeah, they're probably just going to keep it there now. I mean, they're close to the finish line, and also maybe the wind's going to drop again, so better just to keep all the body weight back and leave the stack where it is.
And what about this with the dagger where Zabi's pushing on it? Do you think is it not moving as it should be?
They do want the board up here out of the tack. It's possible that they've just slightly overwound it, so it's just gone up a little bit too high, and that means it's going to come out of its bearings. I think they were just trying to put it back in the bearings there. They might kill me for saying that, so I'm going to stop.
Well, it looks like whatever it is, it's fixed. They were all focused on it, but now it's fixed. It's got to be a bit of a relief for Mapfre here as well. Have you seen Iker smile yet, Knut?
He looks pretty focused, but no, he's smiling. I can see Andrea Fonseca there standing on the main sheet in the back there, and he looks happy. So, I mean, there's no boats close to them really, so they have Dongfeng on a very, very safe distance. So they should be feeling comfortable. Not
just not to make any big mistakes, not break anything or make a stupid tack or something.
And how far from here?
Well, I mean, right now, I think we will see that they will lay this finish line. They actually went a little too far, so they actually will lay the finish line, and they have been lifted nicely, and there's plenty of pressure. So they are, what should I say? They are inside 1 minute, I would say, from the finish line.
So do you think that means the breeze has gone right from earlier?
Yeah, probably, and more solid. You know, like it's. In the beginning, when the wind feels in like that early in the morning, it's always a bit twisted and you don't have the breeze all the way down to the surface. Now there is wind all the way down on the water. You can see all the different sort of small dark spots on the water. So it's much more solid wind here now. And Mapfre actually went a little too far, so Iker is sailing a bit lower and hard of wind now. And he probably has, I would say, 20 seconds left to that finishing mark, and he's gonna probably roll around the mark and sort of turn up towards head to wind. One boat length left now till they cross the finish line, and then Mapfre is crossing the finish line there in second place on leg 7. Congratulations.
Huge achievement, second place for Mapfre, the Spanish boat. A big move for this team, and I'm sure they're quite happy after the stressful morning they've had to take the second. Happier with second than to be fighting for fourth, even if they weren't able to pass Brunell.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always that slight feeling of what if, you know, wanting to pass and get first, but they've got to be happy with second there. Really solid leg, and yeah, and you know, a good finish, good lead in the end into that second place. So yeah,
And
really nice sailing.
Showed some true form in their speed as well, as you said, in the drag race. The head of the Dongfang race team. I don't think that we all were expecting Mapfre to maybe win that drag race, and to win it and then not be in the scrap right now that's happening behind them has got to be a huge relief. They'll look back at that and go, wow, we've done really quite well here.
I know that Rob before has sort of said that, you know, just I think a couple of legs ago they ended up diverging course from Dongfang just because they felt they had to do something else because they just couldn't keep up with them. And I remember Rob saying, you know, you just didn't know what they were doing. They were so much quicker. So yeah, they're going to be really happy now to see that, you know, they can sail away from Dongfang
to win that battle.
Yeah, so
there wasn't much congratulation on board there at all. Straight back to work.
Yeah, I think, you know, they've known they're going to finish in second for a while now. So it's just kind of, yeah, get the job done and get ashore.
Get into the dock. Well, good job for Mapfre. Congratulations to them, and nice to see that the breeze has filled. If you're still with us, a question for you. Do you think that now that the sun is up, the breeze will just continue to fill all day long? Was the light air just a possibility before the sun had risen?
Yeah, I would think so. But we are just going to head back out again now to meet the others, because there's a battle, the crazy war going on in the back here now for third place. So we're going to go out and see. We'll let you know when we get out there to see what kind of breeze they have. And from here where I can see, it looks very light out there. So it doesn't look like it has been spilling all the way out. And actually, it's really here in the river, you know, like it's very narrow here. It's kind of it compresses the breeze a bit through the whole channel. And when I look further out, when it opens up in the bay, it looks a lot less wet. In fact, I can see a sailboat that is only, you know, 2 miles behind, and they have no wind at all. So I think I think they still have to get to the breeze. I mean, it's not going to fill all the way into them, which is interesting, because it's going to make that battle for third place very, very tricky and very hard, because it will be very hard to protect anything when there's so little wind.
And it's such a close battle behind right now. It's going to be an interesting one if it is very little wind, as you say. That's a beautiful shot. Mapfre, the triple-masted boat, and a sailboat out. God, there's quite a flotilla now out to greet everyone, Knut. I mean, how many boats do you think you have around you?
Oh, there's a lot of boats. I can tell you there's 4 boats coming out as well. So and this is what we had here last time as well. I mean, people don't realize what a seafaring nation Portugal is, you know. This is... Well, I have to be careful what I say now, because the Spanish always have this war about who discovered what in the world. But the Portuguese were certainly early, and they were certainly Vasco da Gama and others. I mean, there was some very famous sailors coming out from here. So a lot of Portuguese sailing fans are out on the water early this morning. And it's a work day, so they must have taken some time off from work.
That's amazing. Well, at least at this point, maybe they'll be able to come out, see the boats in, and then still make it for work easily. Perhaps easily. Depends on quite how far back and how long the distance takes between the other two. Well, thanks so much, Knut. I think now we've actually got a very excited member of Team Brunell with Joe Picard down on the dock in the race village in Lisbon.
Hey Jenny, welcome to Lisbon, and I do indeed have a very excited member of Team Brunel. It's Jan Muir, of course. Jan, the CEO of Brunel, thank you so much for joining us on the dock. So I believe that you're a little bit of a good luck charm for Brunel. The last time you were here, they won as well. Have you booked your tickets moving forward?
Of course, of course. No, it's not me. It's the team. Bauer and the team. They did an enormous performance. Yes, congratulations. Yeah, it was enormous to see that tonight. It was dark out there, just on the ocean, on the sea, and you saw just that ship just moving very slowly, and the man on board just walking very, very, very carefully over the deck, just whispering, no wind. It was incredible. It was an incredible race. So exciting.
So when Bauer came into Newport, I interviewed him, and he was quite direct, as Bauer always is, about how this has changed the campaign. Now, the change in the standings for this leg, with Abu Dhabi falling behind and, of course, Brunel coming in first position, do you think we're going to see a very different Bauer arriving to the dock, and how will that have changed your campaign?
I think that the whole spirit could be changed by this leg. Yes, the excitement is back, and I think he will do an enormous effort to win. In in the next legs.
In the next two legs to come, yeah. And of course, we've got the stopover coming up in The Hague as well. We've been hearing lots of information from The Hague, and it's looking like it's going to be a huge success there. What is the word on the street in the Netherlands?
Now, I think because we did win now with this leg, that will have an enormous impact on The Hague. Of course, The Hague will be big. There are a lot of spectators. I think, more than 150,000 people are planning to come to The Hague. It will be a big party.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much, Jan. We're going to pass back over to Jenny because, as you can see, Brunel are going to be making their way around the corner very, very soon. Congratulations to Team Brunel, and we'll be back with you very soon. Thanks, Jen.
Oh, beautiful. I think they call it Christ the King statue there in Lisbon, but amazing to be the guy that's been there on the dock the two times they've won, to think you're the good luck charm. Although I don't know if you'd actually want to be the one that thinks you're the good luck charm, because then you definitely feel like you have to be everywhere. If the team stays next race, then you'd have to beat everyone. But
maybe now he's wondering if it's actually more that he puts the pressure on the guys, makes them win.
I'm here, so you better do well. And again, here actually is a gorgeous statue. I think the bridge and the statue are the two most famous tourist attractions in Lisbon. Both beautiful in the light that we have now. But as we know, the racing is getting very close and very intense behind Montfray. Alvi Medica having just passed Abu Dhabi, now scrapping it out with Dongfang Race Team. We'll try to get to a tracker as soon as we can to see exactly where they are now, because it sounds like both boats tacked into shore. Dongfang Race Team and Alvi Medica, and then now we're headed back out from shore, but not in a lot of wind. Still gorgeous shots here of the city. bridge. Beautiful. Here we go. Here's the tracker. And you can see the first two boats have finished, and then behind, very close here, Alvi Medica actually having passed Dongfang Race Team, and it looks like with a solid pass now as well. Both boats out on port in breeze, in fact. So good moves here for Alvi Medica.
Yeah, Alvi Medica have got to be pleased with that. You know, it's been a tough leg for them with ups and downs, but they've sort of kept fighting, kept hanging in there, and knowing that it could all stop at the finish line, and that is exactly what's happened here. So yeah, they look strong. They're sort of between Dongfang and the finish right now, which is a good place to be. But as we've seen, there's probably still another light spot to come before they're getting that into that pressure in the river. So Abu Dhabi also a bit more offshore, and I think anything could still happen right into the finish here.
And in 4 knots, it actually looks like Abu Dhabi might still be, oh no, they've just tacked back. No, they've just tacked back, I think, onto port here. 6.5 for Alvi. Wow, huge moves, and probably huge disappointment for Dongfang Race Team right now.
Yeah, wow, Alvi Medica really streaking away there. And yeah, we know there's that win by the bridge, so if they are just starting to get into that now, then, you know, that could be it for Dongfang. No more passing lanes left.
Yeah, unfortunately. It was all about the tack earlier. Well, maybe. We don't know where it was, but they perhaps should have done the tack back into shore a bit sooner if that was where the breeze was, and that's how Alvi Medica was able to get around them. Okay, we just heard from one excited Brunell fan. We've got now the sister of Timo on the dock with Joe in the Volvo Ocean Race Village. And we know Timo it was his first leg here, so she's going to be quite excited as well.
Hey Jenny, yeah, we're back on the dock and I'm joined with Nina. I've just grabbed her to have a quick chat with her, of course, the sister of Timo. So Nina, Timo, you were telling me before about how excited he's been. We heard, of course, the live X with Timo on board Brunel as they were about to cross the line and they were desperately trying to get over that line. What do you think he's going to be like, a little school kid?
I think so. And normally he's not really nervous, but now I feel the same. So, yeah.
So the whole family's been supporting Timo throughout the whole leg.
Sorry. Yeah, of course. That's why we are here now. We want to see it in real life.
Jenny, I'm so sorry, but as you can see, just coming in the distance over there, we have got Team Brunel. So we're going to have to just cut Nina off. Thank you very much, Nina. She's going to welcome Timo to the dock, as well as all of the rest of the fans and the family. We're going to pass back over to you. I'll see you back on the dock very soon. Thanks, Jenny.
Perfect, and thanks to Joe as well. We actually couldn't see Team Brunel there. We saw Motfrey, which probably means Brunel's already got their mainsail down, and now you can see them mainsail down. So just a tiny little mast, yellow and gray boat. Motfrey will soon be behind, but it is a good moment, right? Like coming into the dock. But then, what's the best moment? Is it just essentially the stepping off and getting out of there, or is it actually tied off, still on the boat, but relieved to have been done and polished, done the job?
I think I always, you know, even though we've heard our team song a lot of times now, it's always nice when you come around the corner there and the team song comes on and you see, you know, all your shore crew and your families and everyone that's been supporting you. You can see them, and then yeah, the best moment's got to be sort of being able to hug them. And you know, we are a sailing team, but we all have a much bigger team with us, and that's our shore crew and our families. And just being able to kind of see them, and even if you've had a bad leg, you know, they're always excited for you, and you know, they're always proud of us, and just love being able to talk to them and hear what they've been going through and just share that moment with them. So yeah, definitely getting to the dock, seeing your shore crew and your family.
It's an incredible moment. That was the shore crew there, and the families of Brunel obviously quite excited as well for a team to be brought in, especially after a morning like this. Here carrying in the get on board buoys, I guess. I'm blanking on the term. What do we call these?
Fenders.
Fenders, thank you. They're so huge.
But you know, I think we don't realise sometimes when we're out there, we feel nervous, but our shore crew, they're following it as you know, as much as we are, and you can tell when you get back to the dock, they've always been looking out for us, and they've been as nervous and following the race as well, and they're part of the team. So
and your coaches as well.
And of course our coaches, yeah. So always very big hugs from the shore crew, and yeah, a lot of excitement from them when you get to the dock.
So this is a tiny question, but the leg winner flag, does that live on every boat? And you get to pull it out when you, or is there only one of those and it gets passed? I know it seems like such a silly thing, but has that been passed off from one of the boats?
Unfortunately, as yet, we've not yet been able to fly that flag. But yeah, no, it gets passed over to you. You don't want to carry anything extra on board.
I was wondering.
Yeah, hence why the shore crew there, you see them with the fenders. You know, we don't carry our fenders and mooring lines. You want to try and get rid of as much weight as possible. We have plenty of stack that we have to shift around the boat. It is.
Already.
So, yeah, nothing else, even a flag.
Even one flag, much less the two flags. Brunell. And it looked like those jet ski guys were actually part of the safety team. They're wearing bright orange vests, so perhaps either our team or Coast Guard there in Lisbon. Brunell not coming to the right dock yet. Just be the ability to reverse in from there.
I think this is always a tense moment for the boat captain. Hundreds or thousands of spectators, and in a couple of venues we've had some really tight spots to get into, so I always feel for Abby at that moment. Everyone's jumping around on board, which makes it very hard to see what you're doing, and you're trying to park the boat, but she always does a great job.
And at least here there's no wind, it makes it easier. No side wind. Although I think sometimes it is just Bauer who drives their boat into the dock. Not totally sure. Great crowd there. For this time in the morning, though. As Knut was saying, hopefully they get it done and dusted and get on their way to work on a what day are we? On a Wednesday.
Yeah, everywhere you can see a lot of support, and I think as Knut said, you know, Portugal's a massive sailing nation, loads of big sailing regattas here, and they're always really into it, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people shouting for them soon.
Have you raced in Lisbon before?
I've done quite a lot of racing in Cascais, just down the coast, and in Troia as well. But yeah, I mean, love sailing around here. Just despite what you're seeing right now, it's often known for big wind and big waves, yeah. And it's generally very testing conditions, but yeah, great sailing.
Beautiful sailing. Testing conditions this morning, not because of the wind, obviously.
Light winds can be as hard as too much wind sometimes.
I like Bauer's approach to the docking, as you said. Normally, you can stand there and look behind you, and Bauer just turns it around and drives it like a car. Perfect.
I think he's done this a few times before.
Yeah. He may have pulled into many a port in many a different country. Lisbon twice at least that we know of. And there we go, race winners to the dock, and huge applause for them. We'll try to listen in here. I think it's going to be an interview with Bauer next. I like how they're all in various degrees of dress.
It's always tricky when you come in. I mean, you've often been offshore overnight where it's been quite cold, and then you come in and it's getting hotter and hotter in the day. I know a few legs I finished in all my thermals, and it's been about 35 degrees, but you know.
You're sweating, but you didn't have time.
Yeah, but out there it wasn't. I think Bauer seems to have got the right outfit going on here.
Yeah. The jacket, but the shorts. Not English. We can listen in, though, for our other audiences. Beautiful, the relationship between Bauer and his wife. Stefan wrote a blog about it this leg, actually. He said, I would like to have a marriage like that one. The thing that keeps him going is his wife and his family, and it was a really sweet blog. You can read about it online on our website. Really sweet blog from Stefan about what drives Bauer. It was really nice.
I think also Bauer said he'd only do an 8th one if she agreed.
Yeah, that might have been the best line of this leg, actually. Yeah, different from Keepy, who pretty much said, yeah, no problem. If I'm not frail enough to not sail, I will be sailing. There we go. We'll let Bauer and Joe talk.
Of the winning team, Team Brunel. First of all, Bauer, congratulations for the win here in Lisbon. And my goodness, what a fight over the last 2 days. You must be incredibly proud of the boys.
Yeah, everybody did a fantastic job, but I think first of all a big thanks to our shore crew. They made the boat like how it is, and these guys need to be in the spotlight as well. So first of all, thanks to them, and then yeah, the boys on board did the whole leg actually a nice job. So it's nice to win here in Lisbon.
So it's a slightly different story to arriving into Newport. And tell me, things have really changed now. Ian even wrote in one of his blogs, the race has completely changed because of this leg and the standings in this leg. Alvi Medica have just overtaken and they're in third position now. Abu Dhabi are down to fifth as it stands now. They've not crossed over the line. But has the race changed now?
Oh, I think maybe a little bit, but we just have to see how everybody's finishing because the girls are still out there as well. So maybe Abu Dhabi is even losing another place. You never know. It's quite cruel when you finish in a place like here into the city, no wind. So, but let's just wait. 2 more legs to go.
The delay in between the questions here is for the Portuguese audience, so we get a translation to them before we go back to Joe and Bauer.
We gave Bauer sponsor.
So I'm interested. This is your 7th race around the world, and you said that this was the easiest Atlantic leg, but the best. Can you just explain a little bit about why?
Well, I think the easiest because we didn't have any breeze. I think last night we saw 24 knots for a short while, and that was it. And for the rest, it was like a cruise in that sense. A cruise across the Atlantic, nice flat water. But yeah, the racing has been intense from day one, and that's why I think it is a memorable one, and it's nice to put one in the books.
One final question. So we absolutely loved the video of you guys talking about the over 50s race. Are you going to be skippering that? And don't worry, Jono's talked to Viagra, and they've got them set up to possibly be one of the sponsors.
Well, let's first have the sponsorship ready, and then we can talk further.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in the race village in Lisbon, please can you put your hands together for Bauer and the winning team of leg 7 of the Volvo Ocean Race. It is Team Brunell!
It looked like quite a happy Bauer there, but it sounds like now we actually have possibly a team that should be happy, Team Alvi Medica on the line. So is it Amory Ross that we have?
Genevieve.
Charlie.
Yeah, ahoy.
Ahoy. Tell us about this morning. It's been quite interesting watching from the tracker, but tell us what happened.
A lot of stuff happened. The front 3 guys went on one side of the TSS. Us and Abu Dhabi chose the other side. Probably took a big chunk out of the leaders there. You know, just from listening to the interview before me, it sounds like Brunell and Mapfre are finished. And we had a little situation with Abu Dhabi and Dongfeng not too far back where we kind of protected the land side of the river and worked out so far, but we got 5 miles to go, and at 3 knots, it could be another couple hours. So.
And how far is Dongfeng from you now?
Oh, I think if you can see him just there in the background, I don't know, That's Albert. 100 meters behind
There we
Albert,
go.
we got Dong Feng.
Can you have Alvi just move to the left a little? No, just kidding. So
Yeah. He's in the zone, all right?
fair game. Can you tell us about the moment when was Dongfang on starboard and you were on port, and did they have to tack to leeward of you, or had you already passed them at that point?
Actually, that's a good question. We were both on starboard, headed towards the shore, and we called for room to tack, and we tacked simultaneously. And a little bit of left pressure off the land, we were able to get over the top. So, you know what? It's funny. The last time we did that was with the Spectators in Newport 11 days ago. Pretty much right off the starting line. It was the same.
Was it the same boat as well?
Yeah. Literally 11 days, or 10 days, however long we've been out here. Yeah. Same scenario.
And not to imagine that would actually happen. I think it's been 9 days, Charlie, by the way. 9 days, 12 hours, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah. It all blurs together.
It all blends together. Okay, so I would have expected a different answer to this question probably earlier this morning, but what would you have thought was the most important moment of the leg?
Oh, I think where you entered and exited the high pressure system. Us in Abu Dhabi kind of stuck to the outside, and it looked like Dongfeng was trying to too early on. Just kind of couldn't get down there, and then seemed like there was a change of thought on their boat, and obviously Mapfre and Brunel had the same thought the whole time, just to kind of spear into the middle of it and get across the ridge as fast as possible into the new headed pressure. And our early gains were a little misleading in hindsight. We were kind of hoping they were early and late, but kind of where you went in and where you came out of was definitely the important bit. And then actually we had a temporary split with Abu Dhabi after we came out, because we both kind of came out in the same place, and they for more, and we stayed on the long jibe, which gave us a little jump on them, and then spent some time in conditions that aren't really our strong suit, and they were able to take 10 miles out of us in about 18 hours. But once we got back on the coattails and it became a little bit more of a knife fight, we kept grinding, and we're just kind of hoping to hold on here. Now we're doing 5 knots, so it'll be an hour, for the next hour until we get to the finish.
What about this morning? What was the moment when you guys passed Abu Dhabi? I mean, essentially, I think they had passed you at some point yesterday or overnight, but then you overtook them again here off Lisbon?
Yeah, it was a tricky situation. We had the luxury of having them just in front of us, so we could kind of get a jump on some of the sail changes and the course alterations necessary for getting up the river. And we basically said, listen, we're just going to park, and when we get the opportunity to park, let's park on the land side of them. And that's what we did, and that's how we got around them.
That's a good call. It was a very good call. Was that your call or Will's call?
Oh, it's a tag team effort. You got the thing on the bow, Albert? Yeah, he's got it. There's the thing here.
I have Annie Lush with me as well, Charlie, from Team SCA.
Hi, Charlie. How you
Hi,
doing?
Annie. I'm doing all right. Just trying to figure out which way the water's moving on this little pot here.
Yeah, you look quite relaxed right now, given how
you should
tense
have
it must
seen me
be.
before the call. It's tense, all right. We got Albert on the woodwind back there.
Which way was the water moving on that pot,
soaking up the rays. It's pretty neutral.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we were hearing from Brunel before their scare stories of anchoring, but it looks like it's quite good right now, not too much tide for you guys, so hopefully you can drift in.
Yeah. If there's any good news, it's the tide favor, and even if it glasses off, at least we'll be going in the right direction. But I'm just looking ahead now. It doesn't look like we're gonna have breeze all the way in, so it could get interesting here.
It does not look like you're going to have breeze all the way in. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, correct. So,
okay.
Stay tuned.
Will do. So we can see Dongfang just behind you with Alvi. Where is Abu Dhabi?
Tough to say. Probably behind the castle thing. Cruise ship coming in here. So we're about 20 degrees high, of course, trying to get on top of Dongfang and stay in the pressure. But like I said, another 4+ miles to go. To you guys.
And is there a strategy from here forward, or is it just stay between Dongfang and the finish?
I think, well, there's a little bit of that, but I think we got to sail a little bit of our own race too. We don't want to just sail into a hole and let them sail up to it. But, you know, based on where the finish is, based on what the current's doing, based on where the breeze has been coming from, try to protect this shore and stay to weather these guys. You know, they're pretty fast and pretty smart. They'll probably just stay on our weather hip and try to create a scenario further down the road. So
you mentioned it earlier. You mentioned it earlier. You guys went to the north side of that traffic separation zone outside of Lisbon, while the top three went to the southern side of it. Was that just to instigate a split, or was that because routing was better for you guys that way, or a little bit of both?
It was really close, and you know, depending upon the course you chose to sail hours beforehand, the distance actually shifted between the two options. So if you'd sailed higher earlier on, it was less distance to go over the top. If you sailed lower, blah, 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 less distance to go around the bottom. But actually, we did some training here, and we kind of figured that the land breeze was better this time of day, and we figured that set us up for it a little better. That was the main reason. And the routings were kind of split, kind of both ways, and you know, the shorter distance and the land breeze kind of what helped us make up our mind.
Okay, final question for you for right now, Charlie. It was essentially your last ocean leg before the short sprints coming up. Did you think about that a lot during this leg? I mean, I know it was still much shorter than the previous legs, but do you think about that while you're out there, or is there no thought to that, just to the racing?
Not really, to be honest. You know, how many days we're out here? 9, 11? Still a point, you know. And these days, you know, these next two legs are going to be the same, shorter, but you know, they're still worth points. So, just trying to kind of stay focused at the task at hand for this week. We'll look back on some of these days fondly, because it'll be a routine, I'm assuming, to these next couple of legs, and doing the transatlantic again in July, so I can do that.
Oh, good. Well, it's good you have one under your belt so recently. Okay, thanks, Charlie. We'll check back in with you when you're closer to the finish line, and good luck out there.
Good luck, Charlie, for the last bit here.
All right, thanks. Ladies, see you. Bye.
Bye, see ya. Wow, he was looking quite relaxed and calm. I'm sure it was a stressful hour or even 20 minutes until that point. But yeah, now they're ahead, as he's just said. Here they are actually on the tracker. Alvi Medica doing 6 with Dongfang just in their stern doing 6 as well. So they've kind of got them right where they want them.
Yeah, they're in a good position here. I mean, it's you know, between the finish line and Dongfang, basically. But you saw there's a couple of moments where Dongfang seemed to manage to get their bow up a little bit, and Charlie looked over his shoulder and looked a little bit nervous at those moments. So I think is tricky in this kind of breeze. You only need 1 knot less, and your angles change a lot, and you know, gaps open up quite quickly. So even though you're not moving very fast, a different distance between the boats can change.
Can be huge.
Very quickly, yeah.
And they might still have to tack to the finish line, as we saw.
He seemed very aware of that. You know, he kept saying we've still got 5 miles to go, and although that's not a lot given they've just done 3,000, actually, you know, it could be 1 or 2 places. So he seemed to kind of be on top of that.
Yeah, he'd got it all in mind there. Well, here's Mopfre. Mainsail down now, making it into the dock there. And I guess this is their team song, is that right?
Yeah, I believe they've changed their team song. After the first couple of legs, they didn't feel like it was really helping them, and performance definitely seems to improve with the song change, but not sure which led to which.
A bit of superstition, if it's not working, mix it up. Guillermo there in the back, the youngest guy on board.
Yeah, I think is he the youngest guy in the race?
Yeah, he might be, just 20.
Yeah, I mean, what an experience, first Volvo and early 20s, and I think he's got a lot more Volvos in him, so.
And amazing earlier in the Southern Ocean when his father was racing through the Southern Ocean in a different round the world race, and he was racing through it in the Volvo. That was a pretty special moment, I'm sure, for their family. Good stretch there for Iker. It's been a long day or a long morning for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Iker's doing it. Iker's obviously doing this Volvo Ocean Race, and at the same time, he's also campaigning the Olympic class and
the catamarans.
In an Accra. Yeah, amazing sailor. I mean, you know, so many different disciplines of sailing and a success in that under his belt. So, yeah, I don't know how he does it. I did ask him that question. I said I thought he was crazy, but
managing to juggle 2 huge sporting events in your life at the same time is a massive achievement.
Yeah. But I think he said when you have that much experience in both, you know, it's possible.
It's easy. Oh, that's interesting. And of course, he's got his longtime partner, Javi, to be able to run the boat when he's not there. So it's helpful. They've done Olympics together. They've won medals together. It's got to be a nice way to just go, okay, I can sign off this team with you, go do my Olympic sailing, come back, and it's a pretty seamless transition, it seems like.
I think it's always great to see a partnership like that. I mean, those two have done so much different racing together, Barcelona World Race, Volvo Ocean Races, Olympics, and loads of success together. And yeah, I mean, yeah, what a strong team.
Exactly. Yeah. Big congratulations here from all the family and shore crew.
It's always a strange moment, this, because you end up staying on board the boat even though you want to go and greet everyone. Everyone always seems a bit hesitant to get off the boat. It sort of feels a bit strange to finally be on land.
Do the interviews but stay on board. Okay, we'll listen in here to Joe Picard and Iker. He does look quite happy right now, a happy skipper.
It's okay? Well done. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so welcome back down onto the dock, and I'm joined with the skipper of Mapfre, second place position, Iker Martinez. Congratulations, your goal this edition was to be, this leg was to be on the podium, and you did it. You must be so proud of the guys.
Yeah, for sure, more than proud. Yeah, it was a very nice leg for us, and the result is very good. Even better than this, we now can say that we did the lap around the world, no? So that's very important. In less than 12 months, we prepared the team and we did the lap. So that was very difficult, and all the team has to be very proud. No? And for the leg, obviously, second place, very good. Congratulations to Brunell and all his guys. Very good job, and that's it. So now 2 more legs, a lot of points to play, and we have to go for it.
A pergunta para Iker Martinez tinha a ver com dos seus objetivos para esta etapa era chegar no pódio, conseguiu, muitos parabéns, se sente orgulhoso deste feito. Iker responde sim, se sente bastante orgulhoso deste feito. Foi uma etapa que foi muito complicada, mas que ele tinha muito gosto em chegar no pódio. Esse feito está alcançado, está concluído. Neste momento faltam mais 2 etapas para o final. Há muitos pontos em disputa, veremos o que é que ainda vai acontecer.
The last few days of this leg have been pretty intense for all 3 top teams. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Was it just down to a speed drag race?
Yeah, well, we first have to went away from this high pressure. That was difficult. We have some changes in the places. Donphan was clearly in front, then we catch them. Then we passed them, then Brunel was in front, so we have a lot of moving here and there. And then it was still a big fight, because then Brunel was pushing hard and they went away. They had a very good speed, so they did very well. And then Donphan was passing us, and then we passed them again. And until here, we were there with not much brain altogether, no? So yeah, it was 2 days of fighting, but I think we're getting used to that, no? Is fighting all the time, non-stop, every mile counts, and we have to improve ourselves in every leg.
A pergunta prendia-se com estes últimos 2 dias desta etapa. Foram dias em que houve muitas trocas de posição, e quem respondeu que de facto houve uma luta muito intensa, em que entre a equipa Mapfre e a equipa Brunel houve uma grande luta, uma luta muito renhida, em que se trocou de posições várias vezes. Realmente nestes últimos instantes a equipa Brunel está muito forte. A opinião do Iker, conseguiu tomar a dianteira e, portanto, merece os seus parabéns.
So last question, Iker. This is a very, very different leg in comparison to last edition, weather-wise. Is this quite an unusual transatlantic crossing?
Yeah, it was pretty light and difficult. So yeah, it was. The high pressure was there, not moving, very big. So we have on the beginning a little bit of wind, but then we have to be very close to the ice limit all the time. I think almost 50% of the time we've been looking for a red line on the computer, no? That's pretty amazing. So yeah, it was even a little bit boring, no? But yeah, is what we have, and then the rest, yeah, light wind, long leg. Normally we are expecting something more strong. Didn't happen this time. We'll see.
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations, Iker. Ladies and gentlemen, in second place, Mapfre.
Oh, good for Iker. He's happy. Second place is a good achievement for that team. The fight's still on for third place behind. I think we'll be able to get helicopter shots soon. We know it just touched down to refuel, but it's actually very close indeed back there, which is kind of exciting. I don't think Iker even knows how close it is behind him. And when he's talking about Dongfang race team and the fight that they had a couple days ago, he's not really aware he could be scrapping it out here. We've got Dongfang now in vision, and then Alvi Medica just to windward of them. So Alvi Medica to the right of the screen here, Dongfang race team to the left of the screen. But maybe not as easy as it was looking earlier. They're not dead astern of them. They've pushed to leeward a bit more, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think as Charlie said, although you want to stay between your competition and the finish line, it's also quite tricky in this light wind to dictate, too much what's going on, because there's just going to be differences in pressure everywhere. But they're still Alvi Medica's still in a strong position here. I mean, Dongfang still got to get the whole way around them to pass them here. So still in quite a good sort of blocking position.
And it is an upwind, so it is getting around them essentially, and they can still choose which breeze they have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if this was a downwind course to finish, you're probably a bit more nervous because the boats behind generally bring the pressure towards you, and it's a lot harder to defend. But yeah, Alvi Medica's still in quite a strong blocking position, but who knows? Only 5-6 knots of winds. I mean, any shift here and that could all change.
Could easily change. What they want is a lefty here, although it looks like to the left a little bit less pressure for Dongfang race team, that it's not actually that helpful. Although maybe you try to drag them into a hole again. I mean, maybe the best strategy is let's go somewhere where we can roll the dice, almost.
Yeah, I think Dongfang will certainly be trying to shake it up here, but we've definitely seen that, Charlie is a short course racer as well, and I'm sure, if we see Dongfang tack, Alvi Medica will be tacking shortly after, trying to sort of hit them is basically what we call it, which just means, make sure that they stay on their wind and between them and the finish line. So I don't think Charlie's going to give them any space to breathe here if he can possibly help it.
Yeah, exactly. Knut, are you out there on the water? With
I'm
Dongfang
on the water
and
and I'm watching match racing. It's great. I mean, Dongfang sort of initiated the first tack here, and but they had a poor tack. They didn't have a very good tack. They were slow out of the tack and took a long time to actually get furled out and really up to speed, while Alvi Medica actually took a very, very well calculated tack on top of them, where they had much more pace through the tack, and came out, I think, with a pretty big gain in that last tack to Alvi Medica. I would say they probably extended, at least two boat lengths in that. So right now they look fairly comfortable. I mean, they have been through the transition now, with a new breeze coming down from the finish line. So they're in the wind. They're going to sail all the way up to the finish line now. So this is going to be a tacking duel basically. And I think the way for Dongfang to be able to pass Alvi Medica, Alvi Medica will have to make a poor tack or make a mistake. Because if they just do everything right from now to the finish, it's going to be impossible to pass them.
So if you were Dongfang, would you be instigating right now an actual tacking duel? Just keep tacking and see if they go with you?
It depends. It depends how good they are tacking. I don't know. I mean, how they feel about their tacking techniques, because Amy next week can tell more about that. But because tacking with the big Coseros is. We've seen some quite big differences, and Team SCA actually been the best one of all of them in the import races. But it's easy to end up in a tacking duel with a Cosero. You make one bad tack, and you're going to lose everything that you possibly can. Right now, Dongfang is trying to point and stay quite high. Alvi Medica is kind of reaching down a bit and sailing a bit lower and trying to get sort of forward and obviously push Dongfang to tack. I think the earlier Alvi Medica can get Dongfeng to tack, the better here, because they can push them over to the other side, and in the end they get to a lay line, and then there's no way for Dongfeng to get across. But right now, Charlie Enright looks very comfortable. I mean, he's sitting in what you will say a perfect control position, slightly forward, 5-6 boat lengths to weather, and not too far forward. I mean, they can control them there, because if Alvi Medica moves even further forward right now, they're gonna start to really give some really bad air, as we call it. I mean, some turbulence from their sails, and then Dongfeng will have to tack.
It's interesting right now, we're actually seeing on the tracker that Dongfeng is doing 8 knots to Alvi Medica's 7, and it's been that way for a little bit. Do you think they've just got a little bit better breeze down there, or maybe they're not?
No, I think you have to be a little careful. There could be some calibration issues with the instruments, but to me it doesn't look like Dongfeng is faster. Now Dongfeng is tacking. They're going into attack here.
Okay.
And that was the tack sort of, they were trying to do that as a surprise, because they went very quickly into the pump. And Alvi Medica rolled straight into attack as well. So where Alvi Medica is tacking now, they're actually going to probably give some bad air to Dongfeng as well. But I would say, from the time I have been out there with them for half an hour now, Alvi Medica has gained. They have made a gain in these last maneuvers. The big cruise ship coming in here now, and they're going to have to think about what to do with that one. That can be an interesting tactical element, actually. It's currently pointing straight to them, at them.
God, you're going to hope
so they better get out of the way. Maybe they'll go on. Maybe they get a one side each. That'll be fun.
Oh, perfect. All right, now we're seeing on board Dongfeng Race Team. Thanks so much, Knut. We'll check back in with you soon. I think we actually have the prize giving of the first place team, Team Brunell, starting shortly. Right now, you're seeing on board Dongfeng Race Team, full concentration. Lots to do after attack, right, Innie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if their main battens have gone or not, but these tacks are really hard, and if you've got to do a few, then it's a massive grind. You've got to get that big sail the whole way around. As Knut said, any mistake can cost you a lot here, and the sail's got to travel the whole way around the bow, so a lot can go wrong. So yeah, it's just heads down for the grinders, and real precision by the driver to get this right and get the speed back out.
And you've got both the dagger boards as well, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, you've got boards to go up and down, the traveller to set as well, and we don't have really enough winches, or there's not a winch for each of these things, so it's sort of a negotiation between each of you as which winch you're using, and also getting all the grinders to be grinding what you need at that moment. So
which manpower you can use
from
which appliances at what period of time.
Yeah, but I think Alvi Medica are going to be quite happy here, just being able to sit on top of Dongfeng, and hopefully, as Knut said, just get them, ideally here you want to be able to try and get Dongfeng to one side of the course so that they don't really have any options. Dongfeng meanwhile want to stay in the middle of the course here and really try and keep Alvi Medica tacking.
Okay, we'll listen in here to the prize-giving ceremony of Team Brunell.
From Belgium, Louis Balkan. From Lithuania, Rokas Vlevicu. From the Netherlands, Stefan Koppers. And the skipper from the Netherlands, Bauer Becking.
Vamos então receber com aplauso neste palco a excelentíssima senhora Ministra da Agricultura e das Socorristas.
Architects will now come to the stage to present the trophy to the team.
Tenho ao meu lado António Coelho, que é a do vinho do Porto, e também presidentes.
Because we're in Portugal, it's very important to do the port first, isn't it? And I know the guys have not had any alcohol or any normal food for 9 days at sea, so I know that this is a very exciting moment for them to receive the bottles of port that have kindly been donated for each of our teams.
Sim, então aqui a Joe, que neste momento devem estar muito satisfeitos por receber finalmente alguma bebida alcoólica, que já não devem beber há algum tempo e devem estar desejosos. E nada melhor que então que o vinho do Porto, um vinho que representa tão bem o nosso país, para esta equipa vencedora, Team Brunell.
You know, sharing's caring, yeah, boys? Okay, so now the dignitaries to present the first place prize to Team Brunell.
Agora sim, então vamos dar as boas-vindas ao palco, a excelentíssima senhora Ministra da Agricultura e do Mar, Assunção Cristas. Muito obrigado, então, à senhora Ministra das Socorristas e ao senhor António Coelho.
Okay, so thank you very much to our dignitaries. I would definitely advise maybe taking a step back because we asked for a magnum, but they don't do anything in halves in Portugal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in the middle. Oh, we'll do the plate first, sorry.
Queremos também
No, no,
Queremos também
I've
agradecer à
got
Vista
6
Alegre por a excelentíssima senhora primeira, a excelentíssima senhora Socorristas irá entregar então ao Becken presente da Vista Alegre.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the winner of Leg 7. It is Team Brunel!
Huge bottle of champagne. I don't think you can, well, maybe you can, okay, yes you can make it fizzy.
I think that's why they got Rokas to spray it and open it. The strongest guy on the team.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to put some of his muscle into it before power. Wow. Wow.
That's going to taste good right now.
And it looked cold as well. It actually did look cold. I'm not sure if it was. It might have just been our imagination, but it looked quite cold. I think next up we'll probably have Motfrey's prize giving ceremony. But that was a good one. A lot of presents, a lot of toys for them in Portugal.
Yeah, whenever we've sort of been to a stopover, they like to give us something local, and yeah, it looks like a good goodie bag there, so can't wait to see what they've got in it.
They got the bottle of port that you'll be enjoying with the girls tonight. In fact, you fly back right after this, correct?
Yeah, I hope to get back and yeah, welcome the girls in and help clean out the boat.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we're just still hearing Joe there a little bit. Champagne, plenty of champagne. Hopefully we can get back onto the race course as well, check in with the sailors. We saw Alvi Medica and Dongfang had tacked, and then just the effects of that, the tack back. Maybe I would expect gains for Alvi Medica.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tricky here for Dongfang to try and make any gains. Although in sort of classic match racing, you would try and throw in as many tacks as you can. With the masthead zero, it is a really big tack and it's really hard. So, I mean, every tack does cost a lot. And actually, if they start tacking too much, you might see Alvi Medica just not match and just try and extend and sail away because, yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to initiate a big tacking duel with that big sail.
If it were to become a tacking fest, it's sort of a grinding fest as well. Which of those two teams would you pitch as sort of the better, stronger grinder team?
That's
a tough one.
I'm not sure on that one, but yeah, I suppose Alvi Medica being the younger team, maybe you'd go with them. But a lot of it is more in the technique, to be honest, than just grinding. And as Knut said, I mean, he believes it, so I hope he's right. But actually, I think we've often been out attacking the guys, which has upset them to have a, you know, it's probably the biggest, most sort of demanding grind there is. And, you know, the girls have been out grinding the boys, but a lot of it is in the technique and the timing together.
Because while you have three more people on board, you actually don't have any more grinding pedestals, so there's actually not any ability to have more grinding power. There's just more bodies to help through a tack.
Oh, exactly, yeah. But there's lots of other jobs to do in the tack, so, you know, that means we can be getting on with those. And it's just coordination. You know, one thing goes wrong in the tack and one grinder stops or something holds up the tack and it all changes quickly.
Yeah. And as you said, though, you're getting to the other things first. So you're getting Sorry, we'll go here to the Mapfre ceremony.
Rob Greenhouse. From Brazil, Andre Fonseca. From Spain, Willie Altidale. From Spain, Carlos Hernandez. From Spain, Antonio Carves Mons. From Argentina, Francisco Vignale. From Spain, Xavi Fernandez. From Spain, Iker Martinez. Mapfre! Be careful, it's a swimming pool. Congratulations, guys.
E mais uma vez para entregar este prémio, temos aqui no palco a presença da excelentíssima senhora Ministra da Agricultura do Mar, Assunção Cristas. A senhora Ministra irá também entregar à equipa uma peça da Vista Alegre.
So now the Minister will give over the local gift from the stopover to the team.
E também aqui por parte do vinho do Porto, o Sr. António Rebelo irá entregar mais algumas garrafas de vinho do Porto à equipa Mapfre.
So now, of course, from Porto, we're going to give some port to our teams. Boys, are you a big fan of port? See?
Virá, pensou neste momento também ao palco o Sr. Secretário de Estado do Desporto para cumprimentar a equipa Mapfre.
Thank you very much to our dignitaries. Now, does somebody want to swap their bottle of port for this champagne? You want to swap? Yeah? Swap? No? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Mapfre!
Still helpful though.
But he's also saving most of it, so he's done well there.
Congratulations to Mapfre and indeed Brunell as well.
Spray a little, keep
we
it
are
up.
still having a battle out there on the race course as we speak. You can go straight out there.
As Joe was saying, there is still a battle out there on the race course. We're hoping to see some images actually of Alvi Medica and Dongfang. We've been talking about whether they've gained after this tack. It looks on the tracker like they might have, but they still have about 4 miles to go. And as Charlie was saying, it gets quite light between them and the finish line again. So it's not like the pass was it and that's done. The podium finish is still all to play for at this point.
Yeah, again, 3,000 miles, and it comes down to a tacking duel and a match race into the finish. So yeah, it's amazing after a 9-day leg again to be that close, and a really important point for both teams here to fight for.
It's kind of, I don't think, what anyone would have expected going into this leg to see this, especially for Dongfang, to see them drop from first 2 days ago to fourth now. Exiting the high, it looked like they had done the high the right way, leading just at that moment, and then passed by Brunell and Mapfre, and then just now passed by Alvi Medica, who's going into attack again, so maybe Dongfang tack behind them.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here, but I'm sure there's a bit of a sigh of relief from all the teams. I mean, Dongfang have really been quite fast, especially on these reaching angles, and I think everyone's going to be relieved to see that they're not invincible here. You know, that they can be caught up and overtaken, and it really makes it exciting for the next 2 legs.
And Abu Dhabi as well, obviously overall race leaders, but they're in fifth. They've lost out to both of these battles this morning.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm sure Ian Walker's going to be nervous, but on the other hand, you know, they're a very solid team, and you know, they've had a lot of good legs. They've been on the podium every leg, and you know, when he sits back, he'll just, I think, just realise that it's just 1 leg, and still 2 more to go. So.
And they still have some points on the leaderboard, especially if Dongfang finishes 4th here. It's only helpful to Abu Dhabi. That's the team that's closest to them at this point. So it's an interesting sigh of relief for Ian Walker in Abu Dhabi to go, okay, well, our closest competitors were only 1 point ahead of us. I mean, that's hugely different from a day ago when they were first and last, actually.
Yeah, I think he's going to be buying Charlie a beer tonight if Charlie stays ahead of Dongfeng.
It's totally a valid point. You might have passed me this morning, but you also passed our closest competitors. Aw. No, it's interesting. We'll see if we can on the tracker how far that distance is. All we could see there was Alvi Medica attacking, but you've got to assume Dongfeng tacked behind them.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to be sort of pretty stuck together going into the finish line here. I mean, Dongfeng would love to get a split if they can, but we can't see. But I doubt Alvi Medica are going to let them do that. Just keep it simple. Stay between them and the mark.
Well, let's take a look at the tracker here, and we might leave you with it for a little while, and we'll come back very shortly. You can see quite a close race still. A mile and a half, I think, to the finish line we're seeing for Dongfang and Alvi Medica. But it seems like it's closed up a little bit here. Dongfang race team gaining a little bit from leeward position, which is interesting. Knut, are you with us? I think we don't actually have Knut at the current moment, but I'm not quite sure how they pulled that off.
No, I mean, I guess any sort of header now, basically. So if the breeze shifts to the left here a little bit, then Dongfang are going to be able to move forward. And it's, you know, although Alvi Medica are in a controlling position, they've still got to be careful here because they want to make sure they are forward enough so that if they get any header, Dongfang don't go into, you know, a gaining spot.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a real way up between trying to press over them and keep your speed forward versus trying to keep a little bit of distance between the two boats just so they've got some wiggle room.
The hard part here as well is they're both on port, so even if they do gain forward for Dongfang race team, they're both on starboard. Once they tack, they'll be on port, so they don't have right. So it's almost a hard. And here we go, they're tacking right now, and Alvi looks to be matching as well. Do you think we'll see any dummy tacks here, Annie? Will we see legit match racing?
I think it would be very hard to dummy tack with this masthead zero. There's a real danger with this sail that you then don't get through the wind and just completely stop. So that would be a tricky manoeuvre to pull off.
Knut, we've got you now. It looks to us like Dongfang race team had actually gained a little bit there on Team Alvi Medica. Does it look like that on the water?
Not only a little bit. They were inside one boat length each other. So massive gain from Dongfang. So basically happened, the wind dropped a lot on the right side of the course, and as the wind dropped, they were much higher, faster, and sailing much higher. And they sailed forward and basically came all the way up to the leeward side of Alvi Medica. And then they were so close that they couldn't even tack to leeward. And then they basically released the Caldero, waited, and now they're doing another maneuver. So they waited, and then they waited to Alvi Medica to sail past them, and then they tacked. And now they're actually out of phase. Now Dongfang tacked again. I think that next tack was too soon. They made a very quick tack there again without getting up to speed. And now Alvi Medica, this is a full-on match race now. They're 3 boat lengths apart, and they're tacking over top of each other. It's 3 tacks in less than 5-6 minutes. So, I mean, if you do that many tacks with the Caldero, some guys are going to get very tired here.
Yeah.
I think on the technique side, I think Alvi Medica seems to be using their keel a lot more in the tack. So they sort of come out with a lot more heel out of the tack. And right now it's a gain back again to Alvi Medica. So now they probably gain a boat length and a half back again.
So they're roll tacking in a bit better.
Not over. Yeah, but this is not over because there is some patchy wind here. It's some good breeze on the middle, and then on the sides it's less wind now. So every time they sort of move over to the in particular the right side of the course, there's less pressure.
So,
but you know, there's so little distance here now. I mean, trust me, it's 2 boat lengths between them. It's literally 2 boat lengths. Alvi Medica is now coming down to Dongfang. Dongfang is sailing higher and faster at the moment. And squeezing up. Definitely more speed on Dongfang. If one of them makes if Alvi Medica makes one bad tack now, Dongfang is past it. Dongfang is rolling into attack again, and they're so close that they can't even tack the boat around without hitting Alvi Medica. They just basically crossing Alvi Medica's stern there. And they are grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. Oh, I see some tired arms.
In match racing, you would want to protect the right here. You want to protect starboard advantage. But did you just say that you think there's less pressure on the right-hand side?
Yeah, I think there's this pressure. I think Alvi Medica, I probably don't think wants to bring Alvi Medica with them out on the right side. It seems to me that Dongfeng has better speed when they're sailing, but it seems like that the Alvi Medica guys have better tacks. And right now, Alvi Medica came out without being able to grind the sail in. Wow, that was a very bad tack on Alvi Medica. They're almost reaching. They haven't got the code zero in at all. They're going to lose a lot there. Oi, oi, oi. This is not good news for Charlie Enright. You need to get the bow up, Charlie.
Keep talking to us, Canoe, because we're unfortunately not seeing Alvi Medica right now. We only are seeing
No, you
onboard
can't see them?
Dongfeng. So no, we can't. We haven't seen this. We haven't
No,
seen
no,
this bad
they
tack
still
for them.
haven't got the sail in. I mean, Alvi Medica still haven't managed to get the code zero in. So they're, and instead of pointing up, which I think, I'm surprised there because that's what I would do. Charlie is just reaching. He's just reaching. And now Dongfeng is using the opportunity to tack when Alvi Medica is not ready. Dongfeng is tacking, and that's going to be a good tack for Dongfeng here now. Gain to Dongfeng. One boat length back for Dongfeng here.
Maybe
Alvi
ready.
Medica still hasn't got the code zero in.
Okay, it sounds like
Alvi Medica.
we've actually got Jan on the line. Is that correct, Jan? Are you with us? Holy moly, it's such close racing
Yes,
right
I
now.
am.
What's
It's
the objective?
incredible. It's incredible. But this is well, this is obviously this is very interesting. But I can tell you that we would be happy to be already arrived without this match racing at the end of the leg.
Understood. But do you think you can still pull it off? Does your team think you can still pull it off?
Yeah, of course we can. Of course we can. And obviously, Alvi Medica just had a bad tack, and we managed to split. So that's what we wanted. Now everything is open. Everything is possible.
Perfect. So, and when you wanted to split, was the objective to get to one side or the other? Did you necessarily want the left more than the right?
Well, I'm not in Pascal's head, but I think the main objective was to split, because if you don't split, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, fair enough. Amazing. Amazing. And how did you...
Actually, right now we have a little bit more points right now,
Okay.
which is quite good. And we're almost aligned to the finishing mark, I think. So that's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad for us. Everything's possible.
Did you say you're almost
We're attacking
laying
right
the
now.
finish line?
I think so. The point at the finish mark, and it was 90 degrees on starboard, so I think we are not far from being a ley line. Probably not completely, but not very far.
Wow. And talk to us about Alvi Medica. Where are they right now, Jan?
Right now they are on. Oh fuck! There's a back tack for us right now. Back tack. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. We're losing the regatta right now. It was good for us. We lose the tack. We're losing everything. That's terrible. We have the Jennaker on the wrong side, on windward. We have to roll it completely and deploy it on the other side, but we've lost so much there. They won't be able to. I don't think we'll be able to catch up now. Can you hear me, Jenny?
Yeah, we can hear you. Sorry, we're just processing what just happened.
What happened there? Did the lazy sheet get stuck? Did something get stuck on the way?
I don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I was looking at Alvi Medica at the time, and but obviously we didn't manage to pass the clue on the right side of the stay, and we ended up stuck with the wind in the front and the Jennaker in the wrong side.
And Jan, you think that was it? Do you think that?
That was looking very good. That was looking very good. I think we were ahead. That's terrible. That's a terrible leg for us. Terrible leg. When you look back at 2 days ago when we went out of the high pressure, we were leading with 7 miles. And now, that's terrible. We're actually sailing backward right now.
No, I'm so sorry.
Don't manage to tack. I think the guys there.
Wow, they are. They're stuck head to wind essentially here.
Okay, well we'll manage to sail right now, but obviously Alvi Medica is far behind. And
Is anyone talking on board anymore aside from you?
Say again?
There we go. I was going to say, is anyone talking on board, or has your boat just gone silent aside from you?
well, there's not too much talk right now. Couple of I don't know what to say. Yeah, that's not a nice feeling.
No.
I can tell you.
Do you think? Did you say?
So Alvi Medica is about 5-6 lengths in front of us. It's tacking right in front of us, and it's controlling us. I don't think there's anything else to do now.
Hey, we never know. They could have a bad tack too.
Well, I've just Charles saying he has a problem. He has a problem.
Alvi Medica does.
He has a problem. Alvi Medica has a problem, obviously. I don't know what. But
Gets really hard when you're top of the wind range here with these sails, especially trying to tack with them in this pressure.
Hence the biggies and now the big one
Yeah.
back on. Can you see, Jan, what's happened with Alvi Medica?
no, because I'm stuck to leeward of the boat because I'm connected to the leeward mic.
Okay, let's get Knut in. Knut, are you there? Can you see what happened with Alvi Medica?
I can see all of it. It's crazy. I mean, first, Alvi Medica got stuck exactly like Dongfeng, but they managed to wiggle themselves out of it. And I don't think the guys were looking up, but they had both runners on. They hadn't released the old runner. So the running backstay was holding the mainsail, so when they came out of the tack, they couldn't release the main. And that's exactly what happened. And I don't know what happened to Dongfeng, but I was next to Dongfeng, and they basically didn't turn the boat far enough before they unfurled. And I tell you, I'm pretty sure that Dongfeng was ahead of Alvi Medica. So when Dongfeng made that tack, a massive left wind shift. I mean, it's 20 degrees wind shift with a lot of pressure. And Dongfeng was on the left side of the course, and Alvi Medica was on the complete opposite side. So Alvi Medica was headed on the way back to cross and would have lost everything. So huge gamble by Alvi Medica because they took a massive risk on letting Dongfeng go in that split. That was a cardinal error. You should never ever do that. I can tell you, I mean, Dongfeng, where they are now, are reaching to the finish line, so they even went too far. And there's not even beating anymore to get to the finish line. So what the gamble from Alvi Medica, and what I would say bad luck for Dongfeng, because they were really in the right place there to overtake Alvi Medica. Of course, Alvi Medica has sailed a fantastic leg and have been really competitive the whole way, but I must say that to lose like Dongfeng did there, that's not the right place to have a bad tack.
No, that's so tough. That is so tough. And you said Alvi Medica had almost as bad, but they were able to pull it off.
Yeah, they almost had the same. And basically, they had main stuck, but they had more speed in the boat, so they still had steering speed. You know, it's yeah. It's our Italian helmsman driving the boat, and he still had speed in the boat in the tack.
Wow.
Alberto. They are, in fact, just to be clear, both boats are laying the finish line, so they're not going to have to make any more tacks on the finish line. Both boats are laying, and I mean, they are going to be maximum 1 minute, one and a half minutes apart. So you can imagine if Dongfeng hadn't been stuck with it, because they're on the wrong side. I mean, they lost a lot there. You know, they went backwards.
Yeah.
So that could have been the thriller of a century, and it's still a thriller. But wow, I'm sure Charles is going to be so angry. I saw him screaming.
Yeah. Jan, do we still have you on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm there.
Unfortunately. Do you think as well that you guys would have been crossing after that tack had the tack gone to plan?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there was a. I'm sure there was a. There was a big lift and the wind was stronger and we were pointing clearly ahead of Alvi Medica. That was sure.
Oh, this is so tough. Have you guys been talking, as you
That's
said?
that's actually what the guy.
America has one boating. America has only one boating to the finish line, Jenny.
Oh no.
So they're crossing the finish line. 3, 2, 1, and there, Alvi Medica crossing the finish line in 3rd position.
Oh, what a tight fight for 3rd place. Huge congratulations, of course, to Alvi Medica for pulling that off. They've had an amazing leg and an amazing morning here. Consolation almost is all you can feel for Dongfang race team having lost it in that manner. I think you never want to lose a race with a mess up. You can lose a race in close racing like that, going to the right, going to the left, and having one side win, but losing it in a maneuver problem is such a bummer.
But that is, always the way in this inshore racing. I think you always see that the boat that is the cleanest, wins in these big boats.
Yeah, and here's Dongfang.
Dongfang is crossing. Dongfang is crossing the finish line there.
And
so that was close. Ooh.
Charles Cajalier, 4th place. Probably not even a minute between those two boats, but huge disappointment for that team. I mean, utterly. We saw lots of emotion there from Charles, of course, out of the bad tack that they had. As we all said, they were going backwards and maybe could have been winning that. And for Dongfang, this was such a huge point to win or lose. I mean, essentially after this, they could have either been just 4 points between them and the race leaders, or now it's just a big loss. It's a big loss.
Yeah, it's going to feel really painful right now, but that is just the final part of the race, and actually, I'm sure there's other points from the race that you've got to look at as well. And obviously, they were leading 2 days ago,
exactly.
and they have lost from that, so that's probably more what they need to focus on.
Jan even said that. He said, looking back to when we were leading out of the high to now be 4th.
Yeah. And I think also, let's not forget that actually Alvi Medica had a bad tack 2 tacks ago, and that is what gave Dongfang that opportunity.
Yeah.
So, in a way, Alvi Medica have just got back what they lost from their bad tack.
Yeah.
So it really was, 1 for 1 there.
Well, and you could almost say Dongfang, while they think it's this tack here, but they might have lost it 2 hours ago this morning when they went too far offshore and allowed Alvi inside. There's moments everywhere, as you said, in every leg where you can think of points, and in every leg where you can think of positions that changed. But
it's always easy just to focus on the final part, but it's important just to step back and try and look at the whole leg.
Think of it all. Charles there looking hugely disappointed, although the emotion's gone now. He let it out earlier. I think now he's just frustrated.
But I mean, you say it is another point, and that will be expensive to them. But there's still 2 legs left. A lot can happen in those legs, and we've got another boat coming in. Vestas coming in that's really good news for Charles. But that's another boat that can get in the mix that can add points between them and Abu Dhabi. So, yeah, I'm sure it's really painful right now, but there's a lot of race left in this yet.
There's a lot of golf in this hole, as Ian Walker likes to say.
Says himself, yeah.
Speaking of the Ian Walker comment, he's 5th. We wouldn't necessarily think that we would see Abu Dhabi sitting in 5th either. But from here on, it's going to be very tight. I think this puts Dongfang race team actually only 1 point ahead of Team Brunel. This was a huge leg to win for Team Brunel, and Team Brunel probably quite happy to see Dongfang finishing this low as well, because it puts them very close there. Overall, I think this would have Abu Dhabi, if they finish 5th, on 16 points, Dongfang race team on 21, Brunel on 22, Montfray on 26, and Alvi Medica on 27. So Alvi having lost that 1 place to Montfray, it puts them 1 point behind, but 1 point is much better than 2. So they're quite happy on this boat. God, you've got to be happy after such a close finish like that to get the final podium position.
Yeah, and as you saw, really tough work there for all the crew, all the grinding, and just trying to, running the sheets, making sure everything's going to be clean, and, they pulled it off. So it's a good thing to celebrate at the end of 3,000 miles.
Yeah. You wonder about the, and maybe hope it doesn't happen, but it has to a little bit. You've got to debrief mistakes. So you come off of a tack like that, you come off of an entire leg and you can debrief everything, but you've got to maybe debrief that. Do you try to do it without blame, right? It's a little bit like if Knut's saying that the jib was unfurled too soon, then maybe Charles could have driven through the tack quicker, maybe the trimmer could have held off a little bit longer, maybe the grinder started too early. There's a whole process that gets to the tack happening the way it did. How do you guys deal with the debrief like that?
Yeah, I think it's really hard in that situation. As you said, it's probably was actually anxiety with everyone, the trimmer, the driver. You're really keen to unfurl that sail as soon as you can to get going, but if you unfurl it too soon, it's a complete disaster. You're 2 seconds too late, you might lose a tiny bit of speed, but the loss is going to be so much less. But it's so hard to stop yourself at that moment because you're just desperate to get on the new tack and get going.
Imagine the adrenaline running there after that. This morning, that tacking duel, everything pumping, yeah.
And in their heads, they know they've gone from first to third. Now they're trying to hang on to third, and all that's with you. And however much you try and just focus on the moment, I'm sure that was, they're feeling that. Also, they've been pushing really hard the last 2 days. I'm sure everyone's tired, and so yeah, you definitely can't go into debrief now and try and assign blame or really focus too much on that tack, because most of these guys have probably only had 2 hours sleep in the last 48 hours, and you can't say anything sensible when you're in that situation. No. So I think they just gotta get on land, breathe, have something to eat, have a sleep, and it will seem better tomorrow.
Be teammates and think about it another day. Yeah, that's a tough one.
They know how to tack. They've proved that many times. So